What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Jacob and Jacob podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Hare. As always, joined by my co-host, Jacob Robom. Today, we're joined by 11-time Pro Bowler, an NFL Hall of Famer, and one of the greatest offensive linemen in NFL history, number 77, Willie Roaf. Thanks for being with us today, Willie.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Willie, you had one of the most decorated NFL careers for an offensive lineman ever. But as always, when you get the call to get into Canton, Ohio, it's an emotional moment. What was it like getting that call, and how did you feel that you knew that you're going into Canton, Ohio?
I felt great, coming from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, where I grew up, barely getting recruited. I've been looking at some stuff. I played a lot of basketball, so I went by 220, 230. So taking that journey with my dad, and back at that time, now the finalists are in the rooms, they knock on the doors and all the guys go up to the Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Back then, it wasn't like that. Back then, we had to go and stay home, and if you made it, if you weren't there, they call you. I get on the plane, and I got to fly out to Indianapolis that day. So I got to go for the game and do the coin toss when the Giants upset the Patriots, but I was at home in California, had to go jump on a flight when I found out I was going in.
Oh, so you got to see a great game in that Giants-Patriots Super Bowl.
Yeah, I got to go to the Super Bowl, that Super Bowl win, and go to that game. We did the coin toss.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Sorry about the dogs. Poochie!
No worries.
All good, all good. My dog he's always crazy. He's always barking.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I got two little ones and a 13-year-old.
Yeah, my dog is 10, I think.
Yeah, he can't. Yeah, Bart, the Doberman, he can't even bark anymore. It's like a wolf. He can't even get it out good. So.
All right. So continuing on. So there may not be an offensive lineman in the NFL today who is nearly as dominant as you were. But if you had to pick one current offensive lineman that most resembles yourself, who would you say it is and why?
I watch Trent Williams. I like him. He's been a little banged up, but he had some real good years in Washington. Whitworth has done a real good job. I'm a fan of Whitworth, who went to LSU, who is from Louisiana, and we got some ties, Andrew Whitworth. And the kid from Dallas was doing well before he got hurt, Teron, and Peters. Peters is good feet. Real good athlete, similar to me from Philly. He's having a rough year this year. That whole line is, but
yeah, we're big Eagles fans. We're here in Philly, so
yeah, it's a little tough right now.
Rough year for us.
That's why I walked away after 13 years and didn't want to keep playing.
Exactly.
Hey, but you are a Saints fan, as I know, and the Saints just had a big game on Sunday. The Swiss Army knife, Taysom Hill, debuted. What did you make of Taysom's debut?
He looked good. I mean, he passed the ball well. He didn't turn the ball over. He adds another dimension because he can run the ball so well. I mean, he runs like a big running back. I mean, he's a lot stronger than people think he is. And I think he's got a bright future. And I agree, they should have went with him. I know they got Jameis there, but the future looks bright. I think you need to keep Jameis. If Drew retires after this year, you start Taysom and Jameis signs back as a backup. I think he needs to stay in New Orleans and see how Taysom Hill does, but he looked good. And that was Michael Thomas's best game of the year. He had 9 catches, so it was finally. But Michael's caught, 280 balls the last 2 years? I mean, his body's a little banged up from all the catches. He caught 150 balls last year. Obviously, he's going to be a little tired about that third, fourth year. If you're playing a lot, you start feeling it. I didn't miss a down the first 57 games, and then I hurt my MCL. But before that, I could start feeling it because I was playing on that turf, and I hadn't missed a down for 3.5 years.
Do you believe that Michael Thomas is the best receiver in football? We have this debate all the time.
Top 2 or 3.
Okay, for sure.
Top 2 or 3.
I mean, after the Hail Murray, DeAndre Hopkins might be the best receiver in football. His hands are just
I think DeAndre Hopkins is the best receiver in football. Yeah, I would agree with that. But I say Michael Thomas is top 2 or 3. And I say that because DeAndre Hopkins can stretch the field a little more than Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas isn't quite as fast, a great possession receiver, but DeAndre Hopkins can go deep and go get and jump over guys. So I say he's the best. I agree with that. But Michael Thomas is right there in the top 2 or 3.
And I also would add that we haven't seen Michael Thomas on the field that much this season. So if Michael Thomas plays a full season, could be having a different discussion because DeAndre Hopkins has been great this year.
Yeah.
I'm saying that too because I don't think he's as fast as DeAndre Hopkins. And like I said, he caught 150 balls last year and got paid, but I think his body was just a little banged up going into the season. I think he's just banged up, you know. I mean, you're gonna go through that some years. I just got back. I was on the plane sitting across from T.O. I didn't know he was gonna be on the flight, but we were sitting on the X row. And I said, we were talking about Michael Thomas. I said, some years you feel good, some years you're gonna get something nicked up and you're gonna play, you gotta play through it all year. It's the NFL. You don't know how your body's gonna feel any given year.
Yeah, look at Christian McCaffrey. He led the NFL in touches and almost receptions last season, and this year he's been banged up almost every game, it feels like.
Yep.
Did you get down in New Orleans for some games still, or?
Yeah, you know, my daughter's a freshman at LSU, and she's been going because she's in Baton Rouge, so she can go up there more. I haven't had a chance to go to any football games this year because of the COVID situation. We normally go to at least one Saints game, and we go to Kansas City for a game too. So I go to both stadiums normally for alumni week in Kansas City and back to New Orleans for a game.
Did you get to go to the national championship game last year?
The Super Bowl?
No, LSU's national championship.
No. I went to Louisiana Tech, so I'm not I'm not a big LSU fan.
Chiefs Saints, if they couldn't beat in the Super Bowl this year, possibly, who would you have to roll with, those two teams met up in
Repeat the question.
I said the Chiefs and the Saints, two teams that are playing good football right now. They could very well meet up in February in the Super Bowl in Tampa. Who would you have to roll with if those two teams play?
Because Kansas City won it last year, and because Drew Brees is probably going to retire soon, I would have to roll with the New Orleans Saints.
Okay. So I got a question for you. You played against amazing competition during your NFL career, but who was the toughest guy to line up against during your career?
See, that's a good question, but guys think it's always the all-pro guy. Mm-hmm. You know, just like in basketball, it might not be the guy that's the best player all the time. It's just somebody had a good night against you. So I would say it was division foes, guys I played against a lot, like Chuck Smith, Mike Rucker, Sean Jones, a guy that had power, bull, long arms, Tim Harris, Ken Harvey had a good game against me. So I just remember particular guys that might have had a good night against me. You know what I mean? So it wasn't, you know, you're going to play 16 games. You just don't want to get beat a lot, and you don't want to give up a lot of sacks. Now, I gave up 3 against Chuck. That was the worst game of my career in 97. And that was against Chuck. And, you know, that year I wasn't in the best shape. And I went to Duke and got back right after that year. But he gave me a good wake-up call in 97 when Chuck and Atlanta came in there and beat us.
So Michael Strahan, Hall of Famer, has told the story many times about how John Runyon, former Philadelphia Eagle, always gave him the toughest competition in division games. And that made Strahan work harder and stuff. Was there a guy that you just prepped for all offseason just to shut down, and he really made you want to elevate your game?
Nah, I just, you know, when you're in the moment of playing pro football, I knew if I was at a certain weight and I was at a certain size and I had my weight and I was in good shape, I knew I would play at a certain level. So that was my deal. My deal was getting in shape. And I study guys some. I watch film. But I just, in the course of a game, you're going to fill a guy out. You know what I mean? So I played Strahan my rookie year. I was at right tackle my rookie year, and I played against Strahan. And he was tough, you know. But I played Reggie White. I shut him down. I played Derek Thomas. I played some good guys, Kevin Green. But I'll just say that if I was at a certain weight, especially when I got older, and I was in shape and my body felt good, I knew I was going to play at a certain level. So I wasn't really worried about the guys. I know some guys are going to bull me and be able to get me some. It doesn't matter what you do. They're strong. They're NFL players. So, you know, you got to deal with them. But, you know, you just want to make sure you are running and passing the ball and mixing it up so you keep them honest. So it matters what type of offense you're running and how the team is playing. Because you don't want to get in a situation where you got to pass, because then you're going to get in trouble.
Were you a player that talked a lot of trash when you were out there on the field, or did you like to keep it quiet?
No, I didn't talk a lot of trash. Sometimes I did. It mattered the guy. If the guy wanted to talk, I would talk some, but I wasn't a big talker. No, I would, you know, I'd rather just get out there and line up and play ball than talk a lot. You know, some guys are gonna talk, but if you start getting after them, they're not gonna talk a lot. So, you know, I just went by what the guys what they want to do, but no, I wasn't a big talker.
So right now, a lot of people are saying that Aaron Donald is the toughest guy to go up against in the NFL. Do you believe that's true? And is there anyone close to him?
From a defensive tackle standpoint,
Yeah.
Aaron Donald and Chris Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Jones for Kansas City. When Chris Jones is on, he's tough to deal with. He's long, he's tall, he's a big guy. I like both of them. From the end position, that kid from the Saints is playing his butt off. Not Cam Jordan, the other kid, 91.
Right.
He reminds me of Brady Smith. I don't know what year he is, but that boy's playing.
He's in a contract year, too. He's going to get paid this offseason.
91?
Yeah, Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, what year is he? Well, man, he's playing his butt off.
Yeah. He might be a third or fourth year player, but
he's going to get paid. Yeah, he's going to get paid.
Yeah, he's leading the league in sacks, breakout year. It's like a Shaquille Barrett last season, I feel like.
Yeah, Shaquille Barrett was about Shaquille Barrett last year. You know, consistently at the defense being position, you got Cam Jordan, you got Pierre Paul, but at D tackle position, Aaron Donald. If I had two, I want to start with right now. Aaron Donald, Chris Jones, and maybe Hayward in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Who's the best team in football right now, in your opinion? That what this week 11 we're coming up on, or week 12?
Week 12.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Because I like the defense. I'm worried. You know, the Chiefs worry me. Their secondary, sometimes they don't get a lot of pass rush. They got to pick it up more, blitz more. I'm worried about the Chiefs defense a little bit. Not offense, but I'm worried about the defense. And they're going to get Sammy Watkins back. They need a number one receiver, but I'm worried about and Pittsburgh and the Saints right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Saints are playing good football a few weeks ago.
Saints got a defense. That's what
that's right on. And
they did that without Lattimore last week.
Yeah. So I got to ask you, you've been around Sean Payton. You know him. Is he really the quarterback whisperer, or has he just had good guys his whole career?
That's a good question. No, I think he's a good quarterback coach because look what he did with Romo in Dallas.
Yeah.
You know, he was in Dallas when he got to New Orleans. I mean, before he got to the Saints. And no, I think he's a good quarterback coach. And I think anybody that wants to learn needs to go over there and study from him, learn from him. Look what happened with Bridgewater. I mean, he turned Bridgewater's career around. I mean, Bridgewater had a good year. He's gotten better. I think if I'm Jameis, I'll stick down there and try to get better if he can't get a starting spot next year.
Yeah, as you said, Peyton basically resurrected Teddy's career because if Teddy didn't go to New Orleans last season, he could still be a backup on a team and not playing on this huge contract for the Panthers.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you expect if next season quarterback competition between Winston and Hill if Brees decides to hang up his cleats? Or is Hill the undefined starter?
I think Hill will go in as a starter. And if he doesn't play well, then James will come in and try.
Okay.
And back focusing back on you and your career, the nickname Nasty sort of stuck with you throughout your NFL career. How did that name originate?
I used to mess with guys in the locker room some and play punts or in the meetings. So that was part of the reason that, so I can't, just messing with the guys. You know how you boys mess around. So that was part of it. Leaving stuff in people's locker. One thing, we drink water on the sideline, right? And you'd have to use the bathroom, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have to pee, I would take a knee and then I had a water bottle and I would pee right there. I can't go in the locker room. I gotta pee on the field. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
You're drinking a lot of fluids out there. You're gonna have to use the bathroom.
Yep. If there was one prank that your teammates remembered you by, what would it be? The bathroom prank, or was there another epic one that you pulled?
Just coming in there in the meeting room, messing with guys. Guys drink. Well, I'll tell you what. I had a teammate, Richard Cooper, right at tackle. He would purposely drink a lot of apple juice because it made him fart, and he would just be in the meeting room blowing everybody up. So I would say, sometimes you're in the meeting room and guys start blowing people up in there, and then, guys don't like that, but it would be a lot of guys laughing when that happens. Sometimes they're laughing, sometimes they're not.
And one question also, when you talk about opposing stadiums and places you've had to play on the road, what would you say is the most friendly fans you went to play against and the least friendly fans?
Most friendly. Green Bay had some friendly fans.
Okay.
Green Bay. Least friendly? That's an easy one, the Raiders.
Oh, okay. Not the Eagles?
I didn't play in the Eagles Stadium a lot. I played up there my rookie year. We played up there in '93. It was real cold.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, you know what? I don't remember ever coming to Philly. That's the only Philly came to us in Kansas City. I only think I played in Philly one time.
Never?
One time, the old stadium. The old stadium.
Franklin Field.
Veteran Stadium.
No, you know what was Veteran Stadium. You know what the deal was, right? The cheerleaders had a locker room, and by our showers, we had a hole, and guys knew about it, where you could look in there, and in this little hole, and you could look in the cheerleaders' locker room in their showers. So guys would be after the game, be in there trying to see the cheerleader in the shower.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's the best. All right, so one last question before we let you go. Right now, is Patrick Mahomes the MVP of the league?
Yes.
There's no one close to him in the MVP race right now.
How's Big Ben doing? Stat-wise.
I guess you could put him in the MVP race. I mean, his team is 10-0, 11-0.
10-0. And also had very few interceptions. He's been very good all season. He doesn't have the numbers quite like Mahomes does, but he's been dominant, consistent all year.
Yeah.
He's right up there.
He was talking about retiring too, and he's playing some of his best football.
Yeah, he's Steelers, very good.
That was my team growing up. So Patrick Mahomes is special. Patrick Mahomes could potentially be the best football player ever.
Really?
Ever.
I definitely agree. I could certainly.
If he can put this together and get about 3 or 4 rings in Kansas City, and he can put together and his numbers go up and play another 10 years, 11 years at a high level, and he's got to have the rings, but he could go down as the greatest ever.
I definitely could see that. He is the arm talent like you've never seen before. This kid is very, very special.
Very
I don't think
special.
the league's ever seen anything like him. But
No.
Thank you for joining us today, Willie, and we appreciate your time, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and happy Thanksgiving to all our viewers out there, and stay safe, everyone.
Everybody stay safe, and y'all have a happy Thanksgiving too, and looking forward to this vaccine and moving forward next year.
Definitely.